Still on the historic Grove Trail of grove trees, we're now looking at the Tidal Basin cherry tree. The blossoms of numerous cherry trees fall into Washington, D.C.'s tidal basin each spring, attracting thousands of visitors. The trees were a gift to all Americans from Japanese Emperor Matsuhito and the Tokyo Municipal Council. Mrs. William Howard Taft, wife of the president, planted the first tree on March 29, 1912. The tidal basin cherry tree's blooms add a light pink color to the monuments and grounds of the nation's capital. This Yoshino variety cherry tree is one of the first cherries to bloom each spring. Sullivan Brothers crabapple. The Sullivan Brothers crabapple was planted on the U.S. Capitol grounds on June 12, 1952 to honor a family that gave the ultimate gift to their nation. The 5 Sullivan brothers of Waterloo, Iowa enlisted in the U.S. Navy on January 3, 1942. George 27, Francis 26, Joseph 24, Madison 23, and Albert 20 were all assigned duty aboard the USS Juneau on February 15, 1942. The ship assigned to the Pacific Theater exploded at Guadalcanal on November 14, 1942. All 5 brothers were killed. The event led to the current military policy of not allowing family members to serve together. Okay, we're missing the ginkgo tree here. Not sure what the story here is, but do not see the ginkgo. But it's the Frank Lloyd Wright ginkgo. The Frank Lloyd Wright ginkgo stands in front of the Forest Avenue home in Oak Park, Illinois, built by the pioneering architect. Wright lived in the house for 20 years, during which time his ideas about architecture evolved. He and his colleagues broke from traditional architectural styles and developed the prairie style, characterized by the horizontal lines and overhanging roofs. The structures he designed changed the course of 20th century architecture. The Frank Lloyd Wright ginkgo stands as a reminder of the natural beauty incorporated into his designs. Sergeant Alvin York tulip poplar. The Sergeant Alvin York tulip poplar stands at the Pall Mall, Tennessee, home of the man who once called the greatest hero of World War I. Alvin C. York was born in 1887 in Tennessee. As a boy, he learned hunting and sharp shooting skills that served him well during the Battle of the Argonne. York so intimidated the German forces he faced at the Argonne that they surrendered. York, with only 6 companions, marched 132 German prisoners to the American lines. Marsh Foch later said of York, "What you did was the greatest thing accomplished by any private soldier of all the armies of Europe." Lewis and Clark cottonwood. Captains Meriwether Lewis and William Clark set out from Washington on July 5, 1803 to explore the unmapped American West. The legend of their journey is well known. Less well known, however, is the tale of an encampment the two made with 8 Blackfeet Indians under trees near Cut Bank, Montana, on the evening of July 25, 1806. The Indians tried to steal Captain Lewis's guns and horses. A fight broke out and 2 of the Indians were killed. The Lewis and Clark cottonwood stands on the site of that fateful encounter. Minuteman red maple. The Minuteman National Historic Park in Concord, Massachusetts is home to the magnificent Minuteman red apple. It was at this site on April 19, 1775, that the citizen soldiers of the American colonies first met in battle with the British. At North Bridge, which fords the Concord River, the colonial militia, sworn to be ready in a minute, fired the shot heard around the world, beginning the Revolutionary War. This tree appears to be dead. Gifford Pinchot sycamore. The Gifford Pinchot sycamore, the largest tree of its species in New England, stands in Simsbury, Connecticut, in honor of one of America's leading advocates for environmental conservation. Pinchot, who lived from 1865 to 1964, was a native of Simsbury. He became head of the state's Division of Forestry. In 1898, President Theodore Roosevelt named the Chief Forester of the U.S. Forest Service. Named him Chief Forester of the U.S. Forest Service. During his tenure, the number of national forests increased from 32 to 149, covering 193 million acres. In 1923, Pinchot was elected to his first term as governor of Pennsylvania. He is also remembered for his role as co-founder of the School of Forestry at his alma mater, Yale University. The tree named in Pinchot's honor is thought to be 400 years old. It stands 93 feet tall. Again, no signs of this tree. The George Washington American Holly. The President Washington American Holly grows at one of the nation's most treasured sites, Mount Vernon, the Virginia state on the Potomac River that George Washington called home. Washington led the colonial army in the American Revolution and went on to become the young nation's first president. When his years of service to his country were over, he returned to his state to pursue landscaping and gardening. The tree from which this holly originated is part of a small group of hollies at Mount Vernon that are over 200 years old.